That's why you'll always be my home, sweet home. I love St. Kitts, you love St. Kitts. She viva St. Kitts, viva, viva. Say, if she wanna stay, she feels so safe and free on life in hustling New York City. She likes the people here, courteous atmosphere. It's only now she realizes what it's like in paradise. Oh love you all the time. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, you're always on my mind. St. Kitts, I love you as my own. You are so dear to me, that's why you'll always be my home, sweet home. I love St. Kitts, you love St. Kitts, she loves St. Kitts, he loves St. Kitts. Long live St. Kitts, viva St. Kitts, viva, viva.
us that courage to change the things we can to keep progress in our land. We call it the land of our birth.
Paradise here on earth.
It's the opinion of the expert.
Paradise here on earth.
Oh, it's called Nevis nice.
Nevis nice.
Nevis nice.
Nevis nice.
Nevis nice,
Nevis
nice.
nice.
Nevis
Nevis
nice.
nice.
Natural beauty, the air so
We're
clean.
the queen of the Caribbean.
Oh, that piece of fraud, man, I want to
We're the
scream.
queen of the Caribbean.
Forward. Take it. Let me go. Wherever you go throughout the whole Caribbean, my little island name is mentioned as a land of peace and stability, and a good tourist destination. So when them other islands revel in confusion, we don't bear no grudge, we don't bear envy. Even when we have election, we abstain from confusion. Peace does prevail in Queen City. And when them tourists come for vacation, man, they always compliment we. As a people so free and so friendly, so friendly, in a land of natural beauty. God bless our country, bless our native land. Grant us that courage to change the things we can to keep progress in our land. We call it the land of our birth.
Paradise here on earth.
It's the opinion of the expert.
Paradise here on earth.
But Nevis nice.
Nevis nice.
Nevis nice.
Nevis nice.
Nevis nice.
Nevis nice.
Nevis
Nevis
nice.
nice.
Natural beauty, the air so
We're
clean.
the queen of the Caribbean.
Divisions, let me hear you
We're the
scream.
queen of the Caribbean.
Forward. Take it. Ah, I love me country. I feel so free. Yeah. Yeah, man. In a complex world of constant changes, we kept the good things we always had, like loving the people that represent us, here in our home and even abroad. Many nations sit idly by, watch the heroes suffer and die, but we give our heroes respect and recognition. The small wonder we're at the top, and we proudly carry the torch as the guiding light for those conquered by division. I say to my sister island saying, kids, now that you have accomplished that change, take example and follow me. Be like me, and we can share the same destiny. God bless our country, bless our native land. Grant us that courage to change the things we can to keep progress in our land. We call it the land of our birth.
Paradise here on earth.
I know to some the truth can hurt.
Paradise here on earth.
Cause Nevis nice.
Nevis nice.
Nevis nice.
Nevis nice.
Nevis nice,
Nevis
nice.
nice.
Nevis
Nevis
nice.
nice.
Natural beauty, the air so
We're the
clean.
queen of the Caribbean.
I feel so proud, man, I want to
We're the
scream.
queen of the Caribbean.
Forward.
Carnival, everybody calling for bacchanal. Man, woman, and child masquerading, brass band and steel band, jamming, string band and big drum beating everywhere. Man running to catch up the steel band, G.I.'s coming down with Daniel Band, Mastiland, rioting Mastill. And we going down 4th Street like we crazy. The music so sweet, we gone mad. And anybody who try to stop it, will be bacchanal, we going on bad. Amongst them, oh Lord, jam them, oh Lord, beat them, oh Lord, oh Lord. Smash them, oh Lord, mash them, oh Lord, trash them, oh Lord, oh Lord. 20 bulls coming down from Charlestown. Long line of Woosie leading the clown. Maka jumping coming across the street. 10 feet tall, like in the wooden feet. Nigga pigeons playing across the road. Daddy with a note, monkey comes in the hand, bear on the belly, borrowing fun to carry heavy load. And we going down 4th Street like we crazy. The music so sweet, we gone mad. And anybody who try to stop it, we gon' be bacchanal, we going on bad. Amongst them, oh Lord, jump them, oh Lord, beat them, oh Lord, oh Lord. Mash them, oh Lord, trash them, oh Lord, smash them, oh Lord, oh Lord. See Bob playing mass with a baseball bat, Bobby in the yard with a floppy hat. Maple leaf and Coca-Cola, beating music sweet like sugar. Said on the air with iron hand. Murder in the band, we smoke it, fight like hell. Sister Josie, the TV child and the wrong and way the band. And we going down 4th Street like we crazy. The music so sweet, we gone mad. And anybody who try to stop it, will be bacchanal, we going on bad. They're bad. Them, oh Lord, jump them, oh Lord, beat them, oh Lord, oh Lord. Squash them, oh Lord, mash them, oh Lord, jump them, oh Lord, oh Lord. Yankee fans flying from New York State. Welcome body coming to participate. They're bringing me Yankee man, the big fat one from Donga. I love she sexy walks and she tango to dish him out. Monkey from a Leroy Van Love coming down from Toronto. Trouble with the white woman that they're bringing out. And we going down 4th Street like we crazy. The music so sweet, we gone mad. And anybody who try to stop it, will be bacchanal, we going on bad. Real bad. Bounce them, oh Lord, jump them, oh Lord, beat them, oh Lord, oh Lord. Army, oh Lord, you're tight, oh Lord, you're donkey, oh Lord, oh Lord.
For politics has its season, but prosperity has a price. And to build a progressive nation, we must pay the sacrifice. And the sacrifice of our leaders is to obey the one above, not to live for the love of power, but by the power of love. And the sacrifice of our people, when every election done, is come together and work with cooperation and change and stand up and build this nation. Yes, it's time to uplift our nation and disregard all our differences in party affiliation. For if we want this land to be a land of peace and prosperity, then we let unity abide for the sake of our nation's pride. Yes, I would not rest until peace, love and unity abide among my people. Tis we make foreigners coming and taking over we land, is because it's supposed to be failing, and it's we who mash up our bands, and it's we who are the oppressors to the citizens of our lands, and we divide it in every situation. Take a good look at the Syrians, how they're prospering in this land. Under any administration, they unite with cooperation. But my people are so divided on this little rock in the sea, that our sportsmen just have to suffer when they come from the country. That is why all our teams are failing, for we keep our sportsmen down. So let's forget all this regional division and change and stand up and build our nation. Together we lift our nation. Yes, and disregard all petty differences and regional confusion. For if we want this land to be a land that reigns with supremacy, then we let unity abide for the sake of our nation's pride. The ways to our nation's progress was found in calypso songs, when we used to sing songs of success and for blessings to our lands. Now we cussing and spreading rumor to degrade others' character, but this should not be a part of our culture. So I said this word in calypso, that our children would understand, and calypsonians would remember when they sit down to write their songs, that when you point your finger at another, it's three pointing back at you. So when you degrade your own brother, you degrading your own self too. For the greatest crown of our nation is the crown of our nation's pride. So in unity we all should abide. Oh yes, let's stand up and build this nation. It's time to uplift our nation. Yes, and disregard all our differences. Let us work and live as one. For if we really, really want this land to be a land of pride and integrity, then let's put all these things aside and save our nation's pride. I said to save
This song is dedicated to my country, land of my birth, Nevis. Square miles of sheer beauty, 8,000 people and friendly. They call it the Queen of the Caribbean, a country about to call me home, a land that I love right to me bone. Just in case you miss, I'm talking about Nevis. We don't have no jet strip, I know, and we hospital have a long way to go. We don't have much industry here, yet there is still a lot for which we could share. We don't have war like the Middle East. In little Nevis we live in peace, and we crime rate, brother, is way below zero. That is why I love me country so. I'll always hold you close to my heart,
Little Nevis,
I always think of you from the start.
Little Nevis,
You gave me 34 years of fun.
Little Nevis,
You fed and clothed me since I was born. I will never leave, for my heart would grieve, 'cause I love me country, brother, I love this country. And I intend to fight for everything that it's worth, for this land of my birth. Peace, love and harmony, Little Queen City. With a mountain smack in the center, a perfect view from all over. Oh, land of beauty is what they call my country, rich in talent and folklore, education and much more. We shine like the morning star in the Caribbean, brother. We don't have no highways, I know, and we one main road needs repairing also. We don't have plenty millionaire, still love and harmony fill the atmosphere. We don't have tribes like South Africa, or starvation like Somalia, and we don't have coup d'etat like Grenada and Trinbago. That is why I love me country so. I'll always hold you close to my heart,
Little Nevis,
I always think of you from the start.
Little Nevis,
You gave me 34 years of fun.
Little Nevis,
You fed and clothed me since I was born. I will never leave, for my heart would grieve, 'cause I love me country, brother, I love this country. And I intend to fight for everything that it's worth, for this land of my birth. If you feel like I do, sing along with me. have little resources. The way we live is impressive. All around the country, people live in luxury. Though we argue all around town, we have no shooting, no burning down. You could walk late at night or in the broad daylight. We don't have to live in fear of no kind of guerrilla warfare. No communism, no terrorists. No pure democracy with little Nevis. We're the only place in the Caribbean where true freedom is ever seen. In the outside world, they're scared of tomorrow. That is why I love me country so. I'll always hold you close to my heart,
Little Nevis,
I'll always think of you from the start.
Little Nevis,
You gave me 34 years of fun.
Little Nevis,
You fed and clothed me since I was born. I will never leave, for my heart would grieve. Cause I love me country, brother, I love this country. And I intend to fight for everything that it's worth. For this land of my birth.
This is an invitation. Come to Nevis for Culturama. Yeah. Give it. Come with it. Summertime is plenty fun. People looking for action. They want to be where the hot spot be. Here is my invitation to come down to my island. It's the time when the vision make merry. There's fun music, it's so terrific. And the big drum music, and you can't refuse it. And when you hear me coming down, make sure that you join the fun, or else we send for Saddam Hussein in turn. Come feel the spirit, come see the magic, come get the fever. If it's Culturama, come to be your drunk again. Come to the fettings and a rain.
Man can't find woman, woman looking for man. Invitations come over, they got no behavior.
Whoa,
Plenty per canal,
whoa,
the summer festival.
nice man. Give me, give me. Come in. Party people everywhere. Music fill the atmosphere. Big man steel band and calypso. I'm grabbing any woman, searching for that promised land. Action sight anywhere you go. Carry on, stop jamming. That's when the revelers jump in. So if you want some action, that action can done. Green City is plenty fun whenever the summer comes. But leave all your problems behind and come. Come feel the spirit, come see the magic, come catch the fever. This Culturama, come to somebody drunk again, come to Lord Black drunk again.
Man can't find woman, woman looking for man. Invitations come over, they got no behavior.
Whoa,
Plenty per canal,
whoa,
summer festival.
come on, it's nice. Looking for fun? Check, the queen of the Caribbean. What you say? Yo, baby, yo, baby, yo.
Yo, baby, yo, baby, yo.
Come in here. Nice, man. Give me. Enough respect to Henry, George. Give me. Agnes. What you say, man? Yo, baby, yo, baby, yo. Nice. You're feeling the party. Lovely, man. Give me. Then Thomas, come on. All of the Virgin Islands. St. Martin, come join this jam session. Can't afford to miss this one. This is mass, this is fantasy. Local talent in galore. Plenty local foods for sure. Come try with ginger beer and kanky. Losing figure. Try this also Ferrilla. That good. With the one double action. Just let it with some hammer. And when the festival done, and you had all your fun, you could never ever regret you ever come. So come feel the spirit, come see the magic, come catch the fever in this culture. Come to ginger dance again, come to Zumba drunk again.
Man can't find woman, woman looking for man. Kitty shots come over, they got no behavior.
Whoa,
Plenty bacchanal for the
whoa,
summer festival.
yeah man. Nice man. What you say, you're feeling the party? Well, alright. Huh? Let me see you, man. Open it. Give me. Huh? Nice man. Judges, I say.
Cadre in your wardrobe. Trinidadians boast of the pan and sweet calypso. Jamaicans boast night and day about the reggae. Brother, it is time that we let the whole world know about we masquerade and we cadre. The two of them is so unique in we festival, and everywhere they play they cause plenty bacchanal. So let we market them all over as the high point of we culture. This cadre beat plays with your mind and soul. It's so unique and sweet when it's unfold. And anytime we masquerade, perform on any stage, it's like splendor and beauty on the rampage. That's we culture. It's time we let the world know what we have to offer. We couldn't match anything from Trinidad or Jamaica.
Come let me revive your culture. Come let me sell it all over.
Brother, when we masquerade dance to we cadre music, foreigners does jump and prance in fun and frolic. Cause
Nothing in the world sweeter than it.
come help me sell it, cause
Nothing in the world sweeter than it.
giddy 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 dum, giddy 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 dum, giddy 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 dum,
That's we country.
dum, giddy 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 dum, giddy 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 dum.
Come let me break away.
Come in. It's a cultural revival. We couldn't match any one of them. As we strive to revive our culture, as we mark it with tourism, it is important for us to remember we masquerade is second to none. They thrill the audience down in Cuba, and was the best thing for Kawi Festa. And when the world get to hear Kadri and the sweet beat that it portray, tourists will come down here from all over to witness firsthand our rich culture. And then Little Queen City will be known to everybody as the place where masquerade and Kadri be. So come and help me, it's time we let the world know what we have to offer.
Come let me revive the culture. Come let me sell it all over.
We couldn't match anything from Trinidad or Jamaica.
Come let me revive the culture. Come let me sell it all over.
Brother, when we masquerade dance to we Kadri music, foreigners does jump and prance in fun and frolic, cause
Nothing in the world sweeter than it.
come help me sell it, cause
Nothing in the world sweeter than it.
giddy 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 dum, giddy 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 dum, giddy 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 dum,
That's my country.
dum, giddy 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 dum, giddy 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 dum.
Come let me break with.
Ha! It's Kadri in your wadre. In every festival around the world, we masquerade and Kadri must play. Divisions, that must be our goal. So I am here to prepare the way. We cultural icons that are dead and gone, we owe it to them to carry on this rich Nevision culture. Nothing in the world is better. People, it's all part of we heritage. So let me use it to we advantage as we celebrate we culture in beauty and splendor. Masquerade and Kadri must be the leader. That's we culture. It's time we let the world know what we have to offer.
Come let me revive the culture. Come let me sell it all over.
We could match anything from Trinidad or Jamaica.
Come let me revive the culture. Come let me sell it all over.
Brother, when we masquerade dance to we Kadri music, foreigners does jump and prance in fun and frolic, cause
Nothing in the world sweeter than it.
come help me sell it, cause
Nothing in the world sweeter than it.
giddy 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 dum, giddy 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 dum, giddy 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 dum,
That's my country.
dum, giddy 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 dum, giddy 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 dum.
Come let me break with.
Ha!
Good morning, everyone. The prayer this morning will be by Father Peter Moora from the Catholic Church Christian Council. Pastor?
Honorable members, good morning. And invite you for invocation, prayer, and giving thanks. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, and the love of God, the communion of the Holy Spirit be with you all. May God, who is rich in mercy, and who has favored us in wonderful way, be with you now and forever. Honorable members, let us open our hearts in thanks to God for the favor showed upon us. St. Paul teaches us to give thanks to God, the Father, always through Christ, in whom he has given us everything. For when we became God's children in Christ, God gave us the riches of his grace, rescuing us from the powers of darkness and bringing us into the kingdom of his beloved Son. Whenever we acknowledge God's gift, we prepare ourselves to take part more fully in the celebrations of the mysteries of God, which is the sum of all blessings and the crown and source of all thanksgiving. I would like us to listen to the words of St. Paul to the Philippians. Philippians chapter 4, verses 4 to 7. Rejoice in the Lord always. I shall say it again. Rejoice. Your kindness should be shown to all. The Lord is near. Have no anxiety at all, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, make your request known to God. Then the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and mind in Jesus Christ. The word of the Lord. Just to mention, the task that you all undertake in this house is very important. It is paramount in the lives of the citizens of this country. St. Kitts and Nevis, and by extension to the whole world. St. Francis of Assisi says, "O Master, grant that I may never seek to be understood than to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul." And that is your responsibility as you guide us in the entire of this federation. The task that you are undertaking in this house is not only coming from your own intellect, but it is guided by God, who created you, who gifted you, that with the knowledge, the power, and the will that you have, you may represent us all. In the book of Psalms, chapter 47, all you peoples clap your hands, shout to God with cries of gladness. For the Lord, the Most High, the awesome is great King over all the earth. He chooses us for our inheritance, the glory of Jacob, whom he loves. God mounts his throne amid shouts of joy, the Lord amid trumpet blast. God reigns over the nations. God sits upon his holy throne. The princes of the peoples are gathered together with the people of the God of Abraham. For gods are guardians of the earth. He is supreme. Take a moment of silence. Reflect on your own life, on the task that you are going to undertake in this house. What we say, what we do, what I may say, what I may do, does that correspond very well with the people that I represent in this great country? Does that all go very well with what we are to do and to represent our people? A prayer to the Holy Spirit. You are the source of all movement and renewal. You transform us into a new creation when we let ourselves be guided by you, O God. Spirit of God, come into our lives with the power of mighty wind, and by the flame of your wisdom open the horizons of our minds and hearts. During this time of discernment in this assembly, keep us awake and alert to the present and alive to the possibilities of the future. Free us from our narrow enthusiasm for our own views and give us a listening heart. Give us with a taste for what is right and true, to enable us to make the right choice in the light of the gospel values. Loosen our tongues and let you speak through us, Lord. May we allow ourselves to sense continually your joy bringing presence and power in our lives, especially in this time of discernment during this assembly. We make our prayers through Christ our Lord. O God, your mercy is without measure, the treasures of your goodness without limit. We thank your gentle majesty for the favors you have bestowed on us. And we do so. We appeal to your compassion, O Lord, our Savior and God. Walk with us, be with us. Stay close to those whose petitions you have granted, and prepare them for the rewards of life to come. May God the Father, with the Son and the Holy Spirit, who has shown you such great mercy and kindness, bless you with an everlasting blessing. And may Almighty God bless you all. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Let us all say amen. Amen. Members, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Father Moore.
Confirmation of minutes.
Minutes are deferred.
Messages from the Governor General.
There are no messages from the Governor General.
Announcements by the Speaker.
Just a few announcements. By way of apologies, I've received notices from the honorable members for St. Christopher 1, St. Christopher 6, and Nevis 9, as well as Nevis 10. Those are the announcements.
Presentation of papers and of reports from committees. Petitions. Government notices. Unofficial notices. Questions. Request for leave to move the adjournment of the National Assembly on matters of urgent public importance. Statements by ministers.
I recognize the honorable member for St. Christopher 8.
Madam Speaker, with your leave, I rise on the matter of statement by agenda item statement by ministers and so I will make a few announcements with respect to my ministries. From the Ministry of Health, Madam Speaker, I want to report to the public that we are seeing an uptick in viral gastroenteritis, which is causing the vomiting and diarrhea that we are seeing. And therefore, we are appealing to all of our citizens to be a part of the solution to stop the spread of this disease that's affecting us at this particular time. I myself, Madam Speaker, would have put out something on my own platform, but the Ministry of Health has also put out a number of things to inform our people as to how we can deal with gastroenteritis. As you know, gastroenteritis is spread through a virus. Sometimes the virus can be on surfaces, and you touch the surfaces, and you touch your mouth, and you transmit it, and so you can end up with the vomiting and diarrhea. So it calls for all of us to practice good hygiene, make sure we wash our hands, make sure we wipe surfaces. For those who are sick, they should not return to work until 48 hours after all the symptoms have cleared up. And it is important. We see it affecting a lot of our children, and so keeping surfaces clean, washing our hands, making sure we are practicing good hygienic measures will help us to stem the spread of gastroenteritis. So I wanted to bring that from the Ministry of Health so that we can all be a part of the solution, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also want to update a number of critical matters, and those matters specifically from the perspective of the economy. And one of the first things that I want to touch on, Madam Speaker, is the matter to do with the rebound of the tourism sector. I want that we recognize the work that is being done by the Honorable Minister of Tourism and her team to really push this sector so that it can advance to the point where tourism has rebounded significantly. I want to update this Honorable House and our people that the rebound should have been sooner, Madam Speaker, but in 2022, the delay in opening up the country really affected us negatively. However, it is projected that we will be above 1 million cruise passengers this year, this tourist season, which is tremendous. And also we expect an increase in terms of arrivals at our airport. And so that will redound to the benefit of our people in terms of jobs created in the tourism sector. Madam Speaker, I hope that those who are in this sector will be happier this season. I can say that the hoteliers are happier. I met with a major hotelier, and he said he's quite pleased with respect to arrivals and stays at the hotel. And so in our meeting, you can see he expressed that, and I tell him we have more plans to help to expand the sector. I also want to say that to the taxi drivers and those who are the vendors in this most critical sector of our economy, that they are also experiencing a rebound. In the sense that because of the delay in opening up the country in 2022, they suffered and suffered unnecessarily. They could not, no tourists, no taxi trips, no tours, no tourists, no massages, no tourists, no, the monkey vendors can't make money. No tourists, the shops in town were under pressure. And that cost our country millions and millions of dollars, directly and indirectly. And in addition to that, I must say, Madam Speaker, we lagged last in the OECS to recover, even though we have an excellent tourism product here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We should have recovered in 2023 because almost every other country in the OECS saw record numbers. Because when the countries opened up in 2022, those who came from Europe and America were just looking for places to go. They had been locked down for 2 years, and they just wanted to get out. And so you saw rise numbers, and I would say record numbers in Barbados and throughout the OECS and so forth. While they were experiencing record numbers, we were lagging, and our number was below the 2019 numbers because we refused to open the country in 2022 on time. That is why the first measure taken by me as Prime Minister when I was sworn in was to open the country. And as the country opened, we started to see the rebound of the tourism sector. But of course, it would lag somewhat. So I want to say strongly, from an economic standpoint, looking at the economy from the lens of tourism, that this affected us. But I'm pleased to say that we are on our way to recovery. And this year, we are expected over 1 million cruise passengers. And once again, I want to congratulate the minister responsible for tourism and her team for their tireless work, and to the cabinet, which of course extended or continued to extend its support to this most critical and vital sector, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, that must not go. The taxi drivers, I'm happy that they are able now to resume and even see their business strive, in the sense that in 2022, between 2020 and 2022, they suffered a lot. The taxi men, women, and all those who are in that sector, they suffered a lot because, of course, with no cruise passengers, their businesses were brought to a stop. But I can say now that they are back on their way. And I remember, Madam Speaker, seeing a number of taxi drivers in my own practice and seeing the challenges and difficulties they're going through. I remember at that time, I made an announcement that any taxi driver who wanted their medical report to get their license, I will do it for them for free. And I saw a number of taxi drivers, and I offered my service for free so that they could have gotten their taxi license for when the industry would open up in 2022, Madam Speaker. So I know what the taxi drivers went through. And so I'm happy that we are expecting over 1 million cruise passengers, which would redound to the benefit, of course, of the taxi drivers and all those who are directly involved. But remember, tourism is our number one sector. Therefore, all of us would benefit from it, even if we are not directly in that sector. So I want to say to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, even if you work for government, you are benefiting from the tourism sector. Even if you're a vendor on the street and you are a self-employed person, you are benefiting from the sector. Even if you have your own business that is not directly connected to the tourism sector, that business is benefiting from tourism. And therefore, I want to say to all of us that tourism is all of our business, for the economic impact that it has affects all of us. And so if we protect it, we benefit. And if we don't protect it, it is our own loss. And so every single person in St. Kitts and Nevis has a stake to make sure that the tourism sector remains strong and continue to grow. Let us support the minister and her team. Let us support our country. So every tourist you see, you have a responsibility to sell your country. You have a responsibility to be kind, to be respectful. You have a responsibility to show the Kittianness and the Nevisianness of all of us, in that sense that we are hospitable people. Let us extend our hospitality so that when they go back, they can say St. Kitts is the place to visit, and they would come back and they will send others so that our sector can continue to grow. We are the best ambassadors. We are the best promoters, because even though we have those who advertise St. Kitts and Nevis out there so that people can come, we are the one who ultimately sell St. Kitts and Nevis. And so I want to say that from an economic standpoint, tourism is fundamentally important. It is all of our business to make sure that we take care of those who come here, because they could have chosen someplace else. But the fact that they come here means that they value us, so we must also value them. I want to say something, Madam Speaker, that being kind, respectful, gentle, and meek does not mean that you are submissive to anybody. It just means that you are expressing the best of the human spirit, which is to treat your brothers your sisters, or whoever they are, with the kindness and respect that you yourself would expect as well. I think the pastor would agree that this is part of the golden rule. Simple. It is not anything complicated. Treat others how you expect to be treated. So when they come, we do the same thing. It's all of our business that we treat our tourists or those who visit us with the same respect we want, and also to treat each other with that same level of respect as well. So the tourism sector is critically important to our economic development. It cannot be overstated. And so I'm happy that we are back on track. Madam Speaker, I want to update this Parliament also on the state of the development bank. As I've said, I'll be open and transparent when it comes to matters of state. And so I would now delve a little bit into some of the numbers. As you know, we inherited a development bank that was $300+ million in debt. Madam Speaker, the debt of the development bank is $340 million for $348,632.54. Madam Speaker, the number speaks for itself. That is what we inherited. But we cannot afford for this bank to fail. Because if the bank fails, St. Kitts and Nevis will be in trouble. This is too much resources to just allow to crash and burn, Madam Speaker. This is probably 1/4 of our GDP that the development bank owes. It's a significant amount of money. Madam Speaker, we already know that there are unaccounted funds in the tens of millions in the development bank. From the audit, money you just can't account for. And I want to update this Parliament that the case to do with the mismanagement of development bank has started. The preliminary hearings were 3 weeks ago, Madam Speaker. This case has to be heard, because how can one not ask the critical questions when you have an institution owned by the government in debt of over $340 million? Madam Speaker, how do you get out of that hole? Why was the bank managed to the point where $340 million is the debt, and tens of millions of dollars can't be accounted for? And a scathing forensic audit report, Madam Speaker. The only bank in St. Kitts that was not audited since 2018, Madam Speaker, was the development bank. The audits of the bank stopped before COVID, Madam Speaker. Having a bank without an audit is like having a car without insurance, Madam Speaker. When you have a bank without audit, no other institution take you seriously. Because if you have a bank that is not audited, the worst is assumed. It is a principle of banking. If you don't have independent audit, what you are saying to me could be misleading. Not only that, people who avoid independent audits is because whatever they are doing, they want to hide it, Madam Speaker. How can you justify that Parliament was held in this honorable house during those years, Madam Speaker? And from my update in my ministry, this was not brought to the attention of the Parliament, that Development Bank had forfeited its responsibility to be externally audited. It's a serious case of mismanagement, Madam Speaker. Now that we have the number, because we had to dig through and dig through and dig through, Madam Speaker, to find what the real number was, because there was no audit since 2018. So nobody can blame COVID. COVID came when? In 2020? And I'm talking about no audit in 2018, 2019? That is before COVID. So therefore, COVID cannot be blamed. And in addition to that, all of the other financial institutions, even during COVID, had their institutions audited. The only one that was not audited was the Development Bank. And now the truth has come out. Now the number has been presented. The number, the actual number, is $348,488,632.54, Madam Speaker. We have to account for the cents too, you know. And 54 cents, Madam Speaker. That is the specificity that we want in dealing with the Development Bank. Otherwise, we will not be able to save it, Madam Speaker. But, Madam Speaker, all is not doom and gloom, because this government had to pump tens of millions of dollars into the Development Bank. We could not allow the bank to fail. It's painful because that money could have been used to do something else, Madam Speaker. That money could have been used to do so many things in our country. But we had to pump tens of millions of dollars into Development Bank. And in addition to that, pay auditors for the forensic audit. And we have to now pay auditors to do the external audit. So they have to go all the way back. So when I ask the bank when the audit is going to finish, we are hoping it can be done in the next 6 months or so, because they have to go all the way back to about 2018. So they got to do all those years up to now. So they can't do for me 2023. They will say, no, we have to know what happened in 2018, 2019, in order for us to know what is happening in 2023. It has to be sequential. You cannot skip a year, Madam Speaker. So in a sense, if you ask them to do the audit in 2023, then they have to do 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019, 2018, so almost 5 years. So we're asking them to do audit for 5 years, Madam Speaker. And so it obviously will take some time. But I want to say that we are well on the way, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is not all doom and gloom, because even though we met a very bad and depressing and hard situation, we decided we must find solutions. Madam Speaker, as update from my ministry, I want to say that Social Security, Development Bank is indebted to Social Security in the amount, and it has come down from where it was at 133. It is now $120,926,017.62. We have to account for the cents, Madam Speaker. I told them I don't want to see any number without cents. We can't deal with a round-up number and a round-off number. We need specific numbers.
It has to make sense.
Has to make sense. Madam Speaker, no payments were made to Social Security for the period April 2022 to January 2023. So when we got there, no payments were being made. No money was available. Bank is in trouble. So between August and December, we were fighting to save the bank, Madam Speaker, to get the payment back on board. And so we started to repay, but not the full amount, of course, initially. But I can say to Social Security, we are now at full monthly payment of $673,000 per month as of June 2024. And we made a lump sum payment to Social Security of $13 million in August 2024 to bring the amount fully up to date. And we are paying our full monthly installments as mentioned before. The bank has paid Social Security to date $21,269,448.99, Madam Speaker. 99 cents. No round off. 99 cents from January 2023 to present, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, so the bank is seeing some business and is now able to start to pay Social Security. Madam Speaker, I want to say that the bank owes SIDF $59 million. It was behind to the tune of $1.6 million in its payments, which is now fully paid and up to date, Madam Speaker. So we have brought Social Security up to date, which was the most critical matter, Madam Speaker. If Social Security stumbles, it means people can't get the pension. It means people can't get the disability, the sick benefits, their maternity leave benefits. Madam Speaker, if Social Security fails, that's a travesty. And that is why we said to Development Bank, the government will pump money into Development Bank for you to manage, for you to raise money to pay back Social Security, the full installments every month. We can't play around with Social Security, Madam Speaker. That is why we had to pump so much money into it. This money could have been used for a lot of other things, but we had to save the bank, and now the bank in turn had to save or put Social Security on its best footing, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, SIDF is owed $59 million, but by the Development Bank. However, we have brought that payment up to date, Madam Speaker, by paying $1.6 million. The bank is indebted to National Bank. That's now National Bank. The bank is indebted to National Bank in the amount of $29.5 million. Only interest payments were being made until 2023, Madam Speaker. So we have gone beyond just paying interest payments and paying on the principal, Madam Speaker. So we have a chance clearly to see how much money the bank really owes. So the bank owes, Development Bank owes Social Security, it owes SIDF, it owes National Bank. Madam Speaker, the bank owes National Bank 29.5, as I said before. But the last one, the bank owes the government $74 million. And Madam Speaker, we have brought all the monthly payments up to date. All payments to other creditors are fully up to date, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Development Bank deserves a round of applause. Everybody is up to date. Social Security, SIDF, National Bank, and the central government. And so I want to take this opportunity to really congratulate the new board led by Mr. Shavon Douglas and the CEO, General Manager, Mr. Matthew, and their teams who took up a real bad situation and had to turn around an institution that was grotesquely mismanaged and on the lifeline. In medical terms, we said the Development Bank was in the ICU with low pulse and breath difficult to detect.
You sound like a doctor.
But it has been revived, Madam Speaker. Not out of ICU yet, but at least we can feel the pulse and we can sense the breath. And so I want to say once again, congratulations to Chairman Mr. Shavon Douglas and his excellent team, his board, and also to Mr. Matthew, who is the manager, CEO, and his excellent team for the tremendous work that they have been doing. To the point where Development Bank has now gone into providing new instruments. They're offering mortgages at 5%, Madam Speaker, up to $499,000, which can get you a 3-bedroom smart home at 5%. And you can now get a mortgage where consideration is given to pay it off in 40 years, Madam Speaker. So Development Bank is in the business now of helping. Development Bank is now in the space of mental health, contributing as part of its social responsibility. It is the sponsor of the St. Peter's football team, Madam Speaker. And so we see the Development Bank also offered an excellent student loan program where students, while they're studying, they don't have to pay any interest rate. Once you take a student loan, you start paying back 4 and a third years later, with no interest payment during the time of study. Before, that would be to a cost of about 15 to 20,000. But that is seen as a gift to our students so that they have less debt burden and they can recover quicker from their student loan payments and be able to invest and advance their economic life once they would have studied. We also brought down the interest rate, Madam Speaker, from 9%. I think, what's the percentage now? 4 or 5%? 5%? 5%? Yes, Madam Speaker, significant savings. So even people who were paying back at 9%, their monthly payments went down, Madam Speaker, so that they can save more money in their pockets. Development Bank, in less than 2 years, with a debt of so great, has introduced what I would call progressive type of instruments to make sure it can continue to do business. It attracts business, and therefore it's able to offer more so that it can recover. So I want to say today that the Development Bank is on good footing, but it's still in the ICU, and we continue to work because it has a debt now we have calculated of $340 million plus, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, still in my ministries, I want to touch a little bit on Social Security. As you know, the news is much better at Social Security. And so let me just give an update here. Okay, so just in summary, Madam Speaker, I want to say that in the year 2023, Social Security performed fairly well, Madam Speaker. Okay, good. So this is a more summarized document. Social Security actually realized a surplus in 2023. Madam Speaker, before that, I can go back. Social Security was in the negative in the year 2022. Obviously, COVID, other issues is that Social Security were not getting any payments from its biggest creditor. Is it creditor or debtor? Which one? Or is the same thing? Okay, Madam Speaker, in 2022, Social Security realized a deficit, Madam Speaker. We have the numbers now that the cloud is clearing of $17,878,334, Madam Speaker. That is from Social Security, a deficit in 2022. What does that mean? It means that Social Security paid out more than it brought in. I told you 2022 was a year of deficits. That is why I want to point out that when the former Minister of Finance was saying that there were surpluses, there were no surpluses, Madam Speaker. We were in debt and deficits. Nothing is wrong if you run a deficit for the right reason, but tell the people the truth. Madam Speaker, right here, we were hearing surplus after surplus. That was not true, Madam Speaker. In the year 2018, when they stopped auditing the Development Bank, this country refused to give permission to the IMF to print their Article 4 report of 2018, Madam Speaker. It is since in 2020 to 2023 that we have asked the IMF to print it. They hid it from the people. They hid it from us, so we did not know the truth, Madam Speaker. So now the full truth is coming to bear. Bank in trouble, Social Security in trouble, CBI in trouble, all sorts of things in trouble, Madam Speaker. We had a deficit of $17,878,334, Madam Speaker. Last year, Madam Speaker, in 2023, we had a surplus. Honorable member from number 3 is a good mathematician, leader of government business. If you go from negative 17 to a positive 15, Madam Speaker, you have to add those two numbers to understand what the turnaround is. So you have to have 15 plus 17 with a 1 add to it because both numbers are over 500,000. And that answer is what? Anybody has a calculator?
I was listening.
15 plus 17. This is a turnaround plus 17. I think you'll be about 33 million if I round up a bit, because each of the hundreds of thousands are over 500,000. Yes, Madam Speaker, significant amount. How much you say?
15 and 17 is 32.
Plus 1, 33. Yeah. A turnaround of $33 million. between 2022 and 2023, Madam Speaker. We went from a deficit to a surplus, Madam Speaker. And it's because, again, I want to really congratulate Mrs. Harris and her excellent board at Social Security, and also to recognize the CEO, Mr. Lord, and his team who had Social Security working. And as you know, they have been going around the country to update the country as to the changes we need in order to keep Social Security on good footing, Madam Speaker. Social Security is about solidarity. Former Minister, Ambassador, Honorable Sam Kanda would always say that. It's about solidarity. If we don't have solidarity, it cannot work. Because when someone becomes of pension age and is expecting a pension, you cannot get your pension unless you have the younger people working, you know. So it's shared responsibility, trust, solidarity. These principles are very important for Social Security to continue to thrive. So we turn around Social Security in the amount of $33 million, Madam Speaker. And I can say that Social Security is on good footing, and we now have to take it to the people about the changes we need in order to make sure that Social Security continues to thrive. Madam Speaker, I can give some specific numbers, you know, as to how much money was collected and so forth, because it was a significant amount. In the year 2023, contribution income was 80 million plus. In the year 2024, up to the same date, it is $84 million, an increase in 5%, or by 5%. This is to say, Madam Speaker, that Social Security is solid. However, we have to really seriously discuss the changes that are needed in order for Social Security to continue. Madam Speaker, let me tell you what was happening. Social Security was on the verge of getting a bad audit, Madam Speaker. It would have been the first, possibly. And it's because fundamentally, Development Bank was not paying back Social Security. So here Social Security would have had a debt on its book. The auditors would have come in and said, the debt is not paid, and the institution that is supposed to pay back the debt is in trouble. So therefore the auditors would say, we can't trust that. And Madam Speaker, it so happened, you know, when they went out for procurement, the same auditor for Social Security ended up being the same auditor for Development Bank. And so the auditor was able to see everything. So you can't mama guy in the body, as they say in some countries. Or in St. Kitts, what word we use for mama guy? Can't fool nobody. I take nobody for no ride.
There's one BS. BS.
Oh, BS they say?
Yes.
Oh,
BS.
okay.
BS.
Okay. But I'm simply saying, Madam Speaker, that they now have confidence that since Development Bank books, that Development Bank is in a position to pay back Social Security. And so the auditors would have given Social Security a positive audit report up to this point. So you save Development Bank, you save Social Security. You put the financial system on good footing, Madam Speaker. So I'm simply saying that I am pleased with where Social Security is heading at this particular time, Madam Speaker. So I wanted to really update our people on those two critical matters. Madam Speaker, in the next announcement, I'll have more specifics on the CBI and where we are, except to say that we had to make drastic changes to make sure that CBI continues, or to make sure that CBI is on a very strong footing, Madam Speaker. But again, it's going through its recovery, just like the Development Bank, just like Social Security. Everything is recovering, Madam Speaker. And sometime in recovery, you have to take measures to protect the main institutions, to protect the country. Madam Speaker, just by way of announcement, I want to say that based on our projections, again, to create more jobs in this country, Tabasco Pepper Program, and the Minister of Agriculture is here. I want to thank him and his team for their tireless and their hard work to make sure that we start the Tabasco pepper program, where we will be growing Tabasco peppers here. We'll be processing it up to the mash point and shipping it back to the United States of America, Madam Speaker. I myself and the minister himself, we visited Tabasco in Louisiana. Madam Speaker, we have calculated that every 10 acres will produce 30 jobs. So 100 acres will produce 300 jobs. And 200 acres will produce 600 jobs, Madam Speaker, for those who are in the agricultural field. We are going to mix it with other crops. What I'm simply saying here is that we're going back into large farm production of peppers and other crops so that it can add to our revenues and also help with our food security and also make sure that St. Kitts become a net exporter of certain crops instead of a net importer, Madam Speaker. So jobs for those who are in the agricultural sector. Madam Speaker, I want to also announce that next week we are going to announce a cybersecurity certification program where we will be, of course, offering 100 persons in St. Kitts and Nevis to be certified in cybersecurity. We are doing this with a company called Protex from Canada, so they'll be certified to the Canadian level. And then after the program, all of them will be attached to jobs locally and internationally, Madam Speaker. So we are starting with the first 100. And then we are going to do more and more. So in the agricultural sector, you'll have jobs available. For those who like computer and all these things, the young people, they'll have jobs available. And so what we said to them, look, you can't take all these certified people because our system needs at least, and the minister is here, we need them. Every bank needs them. Every company needs them. The government needs them. If you are a system without cybersecurity, nobody's going to take you seriously. So we're going to launch that and get our young people quickly behind their computers to become certified, Madam Speaker. So we'll start with the first 100. Madam Speaker, we will also launch, and we have done it, a solar certification course, in solar energy certification course. There will be technicians to know how to install panels, repair the solar panels. Why we are doing this? Because we're going to build a large solar farm. And so we want all of our young people to start to be certified so that when the jobs become available within the next year and a half, that our people can take them. They're going to be available before that. Because once you start construction, you're going to have to start to install. And I said to them, let us put the program here in St. Kitts and Nevis so when the jobs become available, we're not bringing people from overseas for these very good jobs, Madam Speaker. And so I want to thank Dr. Wayne Archibald, who has started this in collaboration with the CFBC, Madam Speaker. And we're going to be stepping it up because we want more people involved. So they have donated the solar lab that is at the AVEC. And in addition to that, we have also brought in EV vehicles, Madam Speaker, that my office purchased. These EV vehicles will be the vehicles where we'll now be training our mechanics in electric vehicles. So they will become certified in solar panels and what involved in that, and also in EV vehicles technology. And that course, I'm going to present it, I think, on Monday to get it started. Madam Speaker, there's a lot of things. Agriculture, cybersecurity, green energy, to become certified, and the jobs to go with them, Madam Speaker. I also want to say, lastly, that the hospital is on its way, and it's being constructed, it's just going through the process. I want to say, and the Minister of Housing is not here, that we have launched fully our pit latrine eradication program. Madam Speaker, it's critically important that people feel good. St. Kitts is a modern country, and we want to get rid of all the pit latrines in St. Kitts and Nevis. And we are building them for free, Madam Speaker. So if anybody knows somebody with a pit latrine, just silently say it to NHC, you know, there's a gentleman who might need one. And we go and we do it silently and quietly. Nobody going to take a picture with you and say, oh, you had a pit latrine and now you're getting a flush toilet. No. I will talk about it without calling names and putting pictures because people's pride and dignity must always be maintained. Madam Speaker. But we have started that. I also want to say that East Coast has stepped up its activity significantly, and we have identified the land to start those 100 homes that I say must be started before the end of this year. We are well on our way, Madam Speaker. Those I'll take picture with, and I'll take the pictures in the next week and a half, Madam Speaker. So the homes are well on the way, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, with that, I want to say that we have had our challenges because we had to build back the banks, the economy, open up the economy, get social security and good standing and so forth. However, based on the number of things that we have put in place, from tourism to agriculture to construction to certification courses in the technical fields to cybersecurity training and so forth, we are seeing ourselves being on a solid foundation to move forward. Lastly, I would say that we should never, ever again bring this economy to depend on one sector only or mainly, where CBI is accounting for too large a part of our economic life here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And that is why we want to diversify into energy and agriculture and expansion of education and so forth, construction, so that, and tourism, so that all of them would play a part in our economic life, and we should never, ever be that vulnerable again. And so, Madam Speaker, may it please you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Member, for St. Christopher 8. Do we have any other statements? Next item, please.
Personal explanations. Motions relating to the business of the National Assembly and moved by a minister. Introduction of bills and first reading.
Recognize the Honourable Member for St. Christopher 8.
Madam Speaker, I rise to have read for the first time and introduced to this Honourable House a bill entitled Aspire Bill 2024. Aspire Bill 2024. May it please you, Madam Speaker.
I recognize the Honourable Member for St. Christopher 3.
Madam Speaker, I rise to probably support this motion. Second this motion.
The question is that the bill shortly entitled Aspire Bill 2024 be read a first time. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
A bill to provide for the establishment of the Aspire Fund, the Aspire Council for the management of the Aspire Financial Education, Savings and Investment Program for the benefit of youth within the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis and for related matters, otherwise known as the Aspire Bill 2024.
The bill shortly entitled Aspire Bill 2024 has been read a first time. Recognize the Honourable Member. No. This has. I recognize the Honourable Member for St. Christopher 8.
Madam Speaker, with your leave, I rise again to introduce and have read for the first time in this Honourable House a bill entitled Advanced Passenger Information and Passenger Name Record Bill 2024. Advanced Passenger Information and Passenger Name Record Bill 2024. May it please you, Madam Speaker.
Seconder, I recognize the Honourable Member for St. Christopher 2.
Madam Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
The question is that the bill shortly entitled Advanced Passenger Information and Passenger Name Record Bill 2024 be read a first time. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
A bill to repeal and replace the Advanced Passenger Information Act No. 1 of 2027 to establish provisions in accordance with international best practices for the collection, transmission, sharing, storage, and regulation of advanced passenger information and passenger name record, in respect of persons traveling to, departing from, and transiting through St. Christopher and Nevis, and to enhance the national and regional regulatory regimes and institutional cooperation frameworks governing and related to the implementation of operationalization of advanced passenger information and passenger name record systems, subject to international standards and national legislation governing data protection and data privacy and other related matters, otherwise known as the Advanced Passenger Information and Passenger Name Record Bill, 2024.
The bill shortly entitled Advanced Passenger Information and Passenger Name Record Bill 2024 has been read a first time. Next bill. Recognize the honorable member for St. Christopher 4.
Madam Speaker, with your leave, I rise to introduce and have read for the first time in this honorable House a bill shortly entitled Public Parks Regulation Amendment Bill 2024.
Seconder. I recognize the Honorable Senator Dr. Clark.
Madam Speaker, with your leave, I rise to second that motion.
The question is that the bill shortly entitled Public Parks Regulation Amendment Bill 2024 be read a first time. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
A bill to amend the Public Parks Regulation Act, Cap 23.24, otherwise known as the Public Parks Regulation Amendment Bill 2024.
The bill shortly entitled Public Parks Regulation Amendment Bill 2024 has been read a first time. Next bill. Recognize the Honorable Attorney General.
May it please you, Madam Speaker, I rise to seek your leave to introduce and have read for the first time in this honorable House a bill shortly titled Plea Negotiations and Agreements Bill 2024.
Seconder. I recognize the Honorable Senator Phillip.
Madam Speaker, I rise to second that motion.
Question is that the bill shortly entitled Plea Negotiations and Agreements Bill 2024 be read a first time. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
A bill to provide for A bill to provide for the plea negotiations and plea agreements between the accused and prosecutors in criminal cases and related matters, otherwise known as the Plea Negotiations and Agreements Bill 2024.
The bill shortly entitled Plea Negotiations and Agreements Bill 2024 has been read a first time. Next item.
Public Business Bills, second reading.
Recognize the Honorable Member for St. Christopher 8.
With your leave, I rise to have read a second time and to lead the debate on a bill shortly entitled Financial Services Regulatory Commission Amendment Bill 2024. The first reading, Madam Speaker, was 18th September 2024. Madam Speaker, as we know, from time to time we come to this honorable House to pass legislation to make sure that our financial space is in keeping with regional and international standards, to the redound of our own system and to make sure that we are good partners when it comes to international standards on these critical financial matters. So, Madam Speaker, this bill seeks to amend the original act which mandates the FSRC to regulate financial service providers, excluding those covered by the Bank Act. The core purpose of this amendment, Madam Speaker, is to reduce the mandatory meetings of the FSRC from 9 to 5 per year. Since its inception in 2019, The FSRC has evolved into a highly efficient and effective body thanks to its dedicated and professional staff. It operates seamlessly throughout the year, ensuring robust oversight and regulation without the need for the frequent meetings, Madam Speaker. This, of course, will not compromise in any way the critical work of the FSRC. This will save time, which can be dedicated to other matters. This can also save resources, Madam Speaker. And so what we are seeking here is to be as efficient as possible. Madam Speaker, I want to say that by streamlining our processes, we can focus more on impactful actions and less on procedural formalities. This amendment reflects our commitment to efficiency and excellence in government, Madam Speaker. Let us embrace this change as a step towards a more dynamic and responsive regulatory environment. Madam Speaker, there isn't much to explain with respect to this bill as it seeks to amend an act, and it is obvious what it seeks to do, Madam Speaker. And therefore, I will not continue the debate on something that is so straightforward. So therefore, Madam Speaker, may it please you.
Thank you to the Honourable Member for St. Christopher 8, the mover of the bill. Is there a seconder? Recognize the Honourable Attorney General.
Madam Speaker, I rise to second the bill and reserve my right to speak.
Is there another presenter? I recognize the Honourable Member for St. Christopher 8, mover of the bill, to do his wrap-up.
And to have read for a third time in this honorable house, second time, Madam Speaker, to have read a second time in this honorable house. Madam Speaker, as is obviously recognized that this is a straightforward bill, Madam Speaker, with no more to add to the debate. Therefore, may it please you, Madam Speaker.
The question is that the bill shortly entitled Financial Services Regulatory Commission Amendment Bill 2024 be read a second time. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. House moves to, apologies.
A bill to amend the Financial Services Regulatory Commission Act, Cap 21.10, also known as the Financial Services Regulatory Commission Amendment Bill 2024.
The bill shortly entitled Financial Services Regulatory Commission Amendment Bill 2024 has been read a second time. House moves to committee stage. Proceed.
Clauses 1 through 3.
The question is that clauses 1 through 3 stand part of the bill. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
The enacting clause.
The question is that the enacting clause stands part of the bill. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
The title.
The question is that the title stands part of the bill. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. House resumes. I recognize the Honourable Member for St. Christopher 8.
Madam Speaker, with your leave, I rise to report that the bill shortly entitled Financial Services Regulatory Commission Amendment Bill 2024 has passed through committee stage without amendment. I further move that the bill be read a third time and pass into law. May it please you, Madam Speaker.
Is there a seconder?
Madam Speaker, I second the motion.
I recognize the Honourable AG. The question is that the bill shortly entitled Financial Services Regulatory Commission Amendment Bill 2024 be read a third time and passed into law. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
A bill to amend the Financial Services Regulatory Commission Act, Cap 21.10, also known as the Financial Services Regulatory Commission Amendment Bill 2024.
The bill shortly entitled Financial Services Regulatory Commission Amendment Bill 2024 has been read a third time and passed into law. Next bill. I recognize the Honourable Member for St. Christopher.
Madam Speaker, this is a marathon for me today. Therefore, Madam Speaker, I rise to have read for a second time in this honourable House and to lead the debate on a bill shortly entitled Financial Intelligence Unit Amendment Bill 2024. Madam Speaker, this bill was first read on 18 September 2024. Madam Speaker, this bill is crucial for our nation's fight against financial crimes and terrorism. Again, in keeping with the spirit of our regional and international responsibility, but always putting our country first, Madam Speaker. The Financial Intelligence Unit plays a vital role in protecting our financial system. It collects and analyzes suspicious transaction information and works with other agencies to combat money laundering and terrorism financing. This amendment aims to expand the FIU's investigative powers to include not just businesses, but also individuals suspected of financial crimes. Secondly, Madam Speaker, to introduce penalties for those who fail to comply with FIU requests for information. This is our 10th amendment this year, Madam Speaker, to ensure St. Kitts and Nevis meets international standards set by the Financial Action Task Force, FATF. The FATF is a global watchdog that helps prevent money laundering and terrorism financing, protecting societies worldwide, Madam Speaker. Why is compliance with the FATF standards so important, Madam Speaker? For the following reasons. Compliance ensures access to global financial systems, facilitating trade and investment. Robust measures against financial crimes make our country more attractive to investors, Madam Speaker. Being compliant enhances our credibility and fosters trust with international partners. Non-compliance can lead to sanctions, harming our diplomatic and trade relations, Madam Speaker. Implementing these standards helps detect and prevent financial crimes, safeguarding our institutions. Madam Speaker, avoiding blacklisting or grey listing prevents increased scrutiny, high transaction costs, and reduced market access, which can hinder growth. Aligning with international standards promotes consistency and cooperation in combating financial crimes. A strong framework aids local agencies in protecting financial crimes, enhancing national security, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, St. Kitts and Nevis is committed to maintaining compliance with FATF standards. This bill is a step towards ensuring our Financial Intelligence Unit is fully equipped to meet these standards ahead of our assessment in early 2025, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is critically important. Bills like this help us to strengthen our financial system and protect our nation's future. Madam Speaker, St. Kitts and Nevis is proud to be generally compliant with FATF standards and has a follow-up assessment in early 2025, as mentioned. Therefore, this bill seeks to bring the Financial Intelligence Unit Act into compliance with the most recent FATF standards ahead of that compliance assessment. Madam Speaker, let me add that this is critically important, and therefore we bring this at this time to make sure that St. Kitts and Nevis continues on a path of good reputation on the regional and international scene, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, with nothing more to add, may it please you.
Thank you to the honourable member for St. Christopher 8, the mover of the bill. Is there a seconder? Recognize the Honourable Attorney General.
Madam Speaker, I rise to second the bill and reserve my right to speak at the end of the debate.
I rise once again to wind up the debate on this critical bill and have it read for a second time. Madam Speaker, bill shortly entitled Financial Intelligence Unit Amendment Bill 2024. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there's nothing much more to add. It's a fairly straightforward bill, and I say, may it please you, Madam Speaker.
The bill shortly, the question is, the question is that the bill shortly entitled Financial Intelligence Unit Amendment Bill 2024 be read a second time. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
A bill to amend the Financial Intelligence Unit Act, Cap 21.09, also known as the Financial Intelligence Unit Amendment Bill 2024.
The bill shortly entitled Financial Intelligence Unit Amendment Bill 2024 has been read a second time. House moves to committee stage. You may proceed.
Clauses 1 through 4.
The question is that clauses 1 through 4 stand part of the bill. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
The enacting clause.
Question is that the enacting clause stands part of the bill. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
The title.
The question is that the title stands part of the bill. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. House resumes. I recognize the honourable member for St. Christopher.
Madam Speaker, with your leave, I rise once again to report that the bill shortly entitled Financial Intelligence Unit Amendment Bill 2024 has passed through the committee stage without amendment. I further move that the bill be read a third time and pass into law. May it please you, Madam Speaker.
Seconder. I recognize the honourable member for St. Christopher.
Madam Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
The question is that the bill shortly entitled Financial Intelligence Unit Amendment Bill 2024 be read a third time and passed into law. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
A bill to amend the Financial Intelligence Unit Act, Cap 21.09, also known as the Financial Intelligence Unit Amendment Bill 2024.
The bill shortly entitled Financial Intelligence Unit Amendment Bill 2024 has been read a third time and passed into law. Next bill. I recognize the honourable member for St. Christopher 8.
Exercise this morning. Eh? Madam Speaker, I rise to lead the debate on and have read a second time in this honourable House a bill shortly entitled Anti-Proliferation, Financing of Weapons of Mass Destruction Amendment Bill 2024. The first reading was 18th September 2024, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the original act was passed. The original act was passed in 2020, and it was a significant step in our fight against the financing of weapons of mass destruction, Madam Speaker. This amendment bill aims to further strengthen our efforts. Oh, 2024. Yeah. Okay, that was an error on this one. So September 18, 2024, it was a significant step in our fight against the financing of weapons of mass destruction. This amendment bill aims to further strengthen our efforts by ensuring we can effectively freeze the assets of those involved in such dangerous activities. The first key amendment broadens the definition of financial institution to include a wide range of businesses, such as those dealing in commodity, futures, insurance, securities, portfolio management, and currency exchange. This ensures that all relevant entities are covered under the law. Madam Speaker, the Second Amendment updates the term property to funds or other assets, providing a clearer and more comprehensive definition that aligns with international standards. These changes are crucial for maintaining our compliance, Madam Speaker, with the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, recommendations, again, Madam Speaker, keeping St. Kitts and Nevis at the forefront of global efforts against money laundering and terrorist financing. Madam Speaker, our Sustainable Island State agenda relies on a strong and reputable financial system by enhancing our financial infrastructure. Madam Speaker, we do not only protect our nation, but also attract the right kind of investors, bringing clean and sustainable investments to our shores, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there is not much more to add except to say that what St. Kitts and Nevis is doing here is being responsible, a responsible partner in ensuring that we are part of that network to stop persons who want to commit nefarious acts, even if not to our shores, but on other shores who are our international partners, Madam Speaker. And therefore, it is critically important. And again, so that our jurisdiction is not used by those who want to commit acts and we look for any weaknesses in our system, we are saying today that we are strengthening that and making sure that it's almost impossible, and we want to make it impossible for anyone to use our system. So, Madam Speaker, may it please you, and I wish the bill safe passage. Thank you.
Is there a seconder? I recognize the Honorable Attorney General.
Madam Speaker, I wish to second the reading and reserve my right to speak at a later point in the debate.
Is there another presenter? I recognize the Honorable.
Madam Speaker, I rise to wrap up the debate on this most important bill. There's nothing much to add to this, Madam Speaker. Bill entitled Anti-Proliferation Financing of Weapons of Mass Destruction Amendment Bill 2024. Madam Speaker, may it please you.
Thank you to the Honorable Member, the mover of the bill. Just in his wrap-up, the question is that the bill shortly entitled Anti-Proliferation Financing of Weapons of Mass Destruction Amendment Bill 2024 be read a second time. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
A bill to amend the Anti-Proliferation Financing of Weapons of Mass Destruction Act, number 10 of 2020, otherwise known as the Anti-Proliferation Financing of Weapons of Mass Destruction Amendment Bill 2024.
The bill shortly entitled Anti-Proliferation Financing of Weapons of Mass Destruction Amendment Bill 2024 has been read a second time. House moves to committee stage.
Clauses 1 through 4.
The question is that clauses 1 through 4 stand part of the bill. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
The enacting clause.
The question is that the enacting clause stands part of the bill. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
The title.
The question is that the title stands part of the bill. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. House resumes. I recognize the honourable member for St. Christopher 8.
Madam Speaker, I rise to report that the bill shortly entitled Anti-Proliferation Financing of Weapons of Mass Destruction Amendment Bill 2024 has passed through committee stage without amendments. Madam Speaker, I further move that this bill be read a third time and pass into law. May it please you, Madam Speaker.
Second. I recognize the honourable member for St. Christopher 3.
I rise to second the motion, Madam Speaker.
Into law. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
A bill to amend the Anti-Proliferation Financing of Weapons of Mass Destruction Act number 10 of 2020, otherwise known as the Anti-Proliferation Financing of Weapons of Mass Destruction Amendment Bill 2024.
The bill shortly entitled Anti-Proliferation Financing of Weapons of Mass Destruction Amendment Bill 2024 has been read a third time and passed into law. The next bill, I recognize the Honorable Attorney General.
May it please you, Madam Speaker, I rise to lead the debate of and have read for a second time in this Honorable House a bill shortly titled Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Amendment Bill 2024. Madam Speaker, may I first apologize for the hoarseness of my voice. I am the coach for my son's primary school football team, and needless to say, I had to make a lot of noise on Tuesday past in our tough game against Bronte Welsh, which ended 3-3, in which my 8-year-old son, I'm quite proud of, scored a goal from open play. Yes. He gets his talent from his mother, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this bill aims to amend the original act, which was passed in 1993, enacted in 2001, and last amended in 2011. The act, titled Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Act, governs mutual assistance in criminal matters within the Commonwealth and facilitates its operation in St. Kitts and Nevis. It also provides for mutual assistance in criminal matters between St. Kitts and Nevis and other countries through treaties. Mutual Legal Assistance Treaties, otherwise known as MLATs, and related frameworks are crucial for international cooperation in criminal matters. They are essential for upholding the rule of law in our increasingly interconnected world. MLATs enable countries to share information, evidence, and resources, which is vital for investigating crimes that cross borders. These frameworks are particularly important for addressing serious international crimes such as terrorism, drug and human trafficking, and organized crime. By collaborating, countries can more effectively combat these threats. MLATs also ensure that criminals cannot evade justice by fleeing to another country. By expanding regional and international partnerships and streamlining our MLAT legislation, we can enhance the capabilities of our law enforcement professionals to reduce drug-related crimes and murders in our federation. The passage of this bill is a step towards improving the citizen security framework necessary to remove St. Kitts and Nevis from the illicit drug trade route. This can save the lives of our young men and women who get caught up in this trade. The First Amendment to Section 2 introduces the term foreign state, defined as a non-Commonwealth state or territory listed in the Fourth Schedule. The Fourth Schedule, new to the bill, includes 27 countries with which St. Kitts and Nevis can assist in criminal matters without a treaty. Notably, these include neighboring territories such as France and its territories including St. Bartholomew, Guadeloupe, Martinique, and St. Martin. The Netherlands and its territories including Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, St. Eustatius, and St. Martin. The United States is also included in this list, although a treaty already governs mutual assistance in criminal matters between our countries. And Madam Speaker, just so that I can explain, the list is quite expansive, and it was developed by way of consultations between our Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other countries. It includes countries like Austria, Brazil, Chile, Cuba, Germany, Georgia, Greece, Italy, Ireland, Japan, Kazakhstan, Korea, Malta, Mexico, Morocco. I apologize to the sign language professionals, but a long list of countries. Republic of China, Taiwan, Republic of Korea, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, Spain, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, and Turkey. Madam Speaker, the Second Amendment to Section 29 allows assistance to be provided to any foreign state listed in the fourth schedule, whether based on an agreement or not, and permits the list to be varied by order. This means that other countries wishing to mutually agree to assist us in St. Kitts and Nevis in criminal matters can be easily added. The Third Amendment, new provisions within Section 29, aligns the form of requests with those for Commonwealth states, details what should be included in mutual assistance requests, and establishes reciprocity as a foundational principle of mutual legal assistance in criminal matters. Additionally, the amendment allows for the seamless registration of foreign forfeiture orders in St. Kitts and Nevis. The Fourth Amendment allows the various schedules to be amended by order, subject to negative resolution in this Honorable House. Strengthening laws related to mutual assistance in criminal matters is crucial for St. Kitts and Nevis as we strive to become a sustainable island state. By enhancing our legal frameworks, we not only bolster citizen security, but also ensure that our nation remains resilient against transnational crimes. Effective legal cooperation with international partners helps us address complex criminal activities, protect our communities, and promote safe and stable environment. This, in turn, supports sustainable development and reinforces our commitment to the rule of law and justice for all. Madam Speaker, the bill is not long, it is not complex, and its purpose and reasons are clear. I hope that I have, in my short speech, been able to convince the people of St. Kitts and Nevis that it is necessary for us to amend this act, modernize it, and to enhance the relationship we have, particularly with our neighboring islands, so that we can end this scourge of crime and violence related to the drug trade, particularly in St. Kitts and Nevis, and we can all play our part. This is the legislature playing its part in citizen security enhancement. May it please you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you to the Honorable Attorney General, mover of the bill. Is there a seconder? I recognize the Honorable Member for St. Christopher.
Madam Speaker, I rise to second the motion and reserve my right to speak later on. May it please you.
Is there another presenter? I recognize the Honorable Attorney General to do his wrap.
Yes, Madam Speaker, all I will rise to say as I wrap up this debate is ditto to what I've said before, and I really hope that it is crystal clear to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis why we are bringing this bill to this Honorable House to strengthen our laws. May it please you.
Thank you to the mover of the bill who just did his wrap up. The question is that the bill shortly entitled Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Amendment Bill 2024 be read a second time. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
A bill to amend the Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Act, Cap 4.19, also known as the Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Amendment Bill 2024.
The bill shortly entitled Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Amendment Bill 2024 has been read a second time. House moves to committee stage. We proceed.
Clauses 1 through 7.
The question is that clauses 1 through 7 stand part of the bill. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
The enacting clause.
The question is that the enacting clause stands part of the bill. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
The title.
The question is that the title stands part of the bill. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. House resumes. I recognize the Honorable Attorney General.
Madam Speaker, I rise to report that the bill shortly titled Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Amendment Bill 2024 has passed through committee stage without amendments. I therefore now move that the bill shortly titled Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Amendment Bill 2024 be read a third time and passed.
Seconder. I recognize the Honourable Member for St. Christopher 3.
I rise to second the motion.
The question is that the bill shortly entitled Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Amendment Bill 2024 be read a third time and passed into law. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
A bill to amend the Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Act, Cap 4.19, also known as the Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Amendment Bill 2024.
The bill shortly entitled Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Amendment Bill 2024 has been read a third time and passed into law. Next item.
Motions, resolutions.
Madam Speaker, we seek your indulgence in a 5-minute break before we proceed with the other items on the order paper.
House will rise for 5 minutes.
Adjournment.
Mr. Sims.
Madam Speaker, with your leave, just allow me very quickly to just make a few announcements. I want at this time to wish the family and to extend my condolences, my sincerest condolences to the family of Mrs. Edmead of St. Peter's. She's the mother of Mr. Dillon Edmead, who is my assistant. I want to, of course, say that Mrs. Edmead, the wife of Mr. Edmead, who served the people of St. Peter's and continued to do so as a leader in the Anglican Church and one who would have been involved in multiple community organizations. Mrs. Edmead was a very mild woman in her demeanor. She, of course, was well-mannered. She is considered a stalwart of the St. Peter's community, one who contributed tremendously. Her loss is a loss not only to her family, but a loss to the wider St. Peter's community. And so I want to wish the family well in this very difficult circumstance, Madam Speaker. Also, I want to take this opportunity to wish Miss Cynthia Stevens, Mrs. Cynthia Stevens, rather, of Keys Village, better known as Cooley, who is at the intern right now at the JNF Hospital. She is battling to recover. I want to wish her all the best and wish her a speedy recovery, Madam Speaker. And with that, Madam Speaker, may it please you.
Recognize the honourable member for St. Christopher 3.
Dr. Douglas is... Okay. Yes. Madam Speaker, with your leave, I rise to, on this moment of the adjournment, to extend, on behalf of the entire government side, our deepest sympathies and condolences to our colleague, cabinet member, and member for constituency number 6, on the passing of his dear brother in Florida, I believe. And this is part of why he's absent today, as they would have had the ceremony for his burial yesterday. And so our hearts go out to Dr. Douglas and the Right Honorable Dr. Douglas and his family and his constituents at this time, as his family goes through this time of bereavement. With that, I would like to move a motion that this session, this Parliament sitting, stands adjourned, sine die.
Seconder. I recognize the honourable member for St. Christopher 4.
Madam Speaker, I rise to second that motion.
The question is that this House stands adjourned, sine die. Those in favour? Aye. Those against? Ayes have it. This House stands adjourned.